Hang him on the yard.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, hopefully at the appropriate age, as long as you are tuning in to the Rumboyz Fantasy Network here, both on YouTube, Sportscaster, and how could I forget, of course, we are live on Rumboyz.com as well. As always, it is your host, Le Admiral, here on this Pirate Voyage. Today, I am joined with, of course, as you see at the bottom, Jay Love of the Rumboyz Fantasy Network writing crew. You guys can check out his work on Rumboyz.com. And as well, our moderator, JD of Rumboyz Central and also of Rumboyz.com. You guys can also check out his articles on Rumboyz.com as well. And also, we have Jake here join with us as well from the Cleveland Sports Show. You guys have seen him in the chat. Jake, what is good, man?
Doing well, man. Can't complain.
Hell yeah, bro. You excited to be on the panel tonight?
For sure, man. For sure.
All righty. Well, hey, man, welcome to the Thunderdome. Let's see what you got, all right? All righty. Ding, ding, ding. Cheers to me.
Cheers to you.
All the Rumboyz and girls, what it do? Dilly, guys, let's get it. JD, take it away.
All right, everybody, grab your drinks. Welcome to the Rumboyz After Dark Drunken Sports Talk Show, where you rate us in the comments. Rate our takes 1 to 5. Tell us why we're right. Tell us why we're wrong. We'll debate your takes as we go along. As we're going along, make sure you give us your fantasy football questions. I know a lot of you guys are trying to make the playoffs, and Robbie and these guys have got the answers for you. So let's get started. My first question let's start with Jordan Love. My first question for Jordan Love is NFL Turkey Day. Football was great. The Bears won, for me at least. The Bears won, and now we are 6-6. My first question is there any way Trubisky can improve and keep his job going into next season? Or is he a bust? Take it away.
Happy I've started with this. Keep his job? Possibly. Only because it's the Bears and they don't have a first and second round pick. Pick up a backup that could possibly come in later on in the season? There's the question. This draft class is actually really deep. I love KJ Costello. I love Jordan Love. Jalen Hurts is a big name guy. All these guys are going to be 4th to 5th rounds, possibly 3rd round quarterbacks just because of the need of the position. And the Bears should come in and slide for a guy also. Maybe throw some money at Teddy Bridgewater to pick up somebody. Point is, simple fact. Mitch Trubisky has not grown at all. I don't think there's a chance he does grow. His head is done. He's on his head. He's messed with himself. If anything, he's gotten worse since he's gotten into the NFL. And again, this is just up to the Bears management. If I was the GM, I would not keep him at all going into next season.
You don't even let him complete his contract, or would you just drop him and start over?
I'd cut him.
Just cut him. All right, Robbie J, would you cut Mitchell Trubisky, or think that's too far?
First off, I definitely think that's too far. This is a guy with NFL experience. So for us to go out here and throw around the words cut, I feel it's a little bit harsh. I do think that next year he has the ability to improve, especially if Nagy is not the coach anymore. I have, and I will continue to always be the member of this show and the member of this panel that will state whenever we are covering the Chicago Bears that it is Matt Nagy's fault. It is what it is. I do not possibly believe that Trubisky himself could have had that serious of a decline between last year to this year. I don't think that that's completely solely on him. Like I have mentioned before, there are numerous amounts of plays and numerous amounts of personnel changes that allowed Trubisky to not do a lot of things that made him successful last year and made the Bears successful last year. And to me, that is on Matt Nagy. That is on leadership in the front office. And I think that as media members, we're being a little bit too harsh on Nagy and not looking at the full pic, or on Trubisky, I'm sorry, and not looking at the full picture.
I like what Connor. Thank you. I like what Connor Burke is about to say. You can't cut Mitch because you give up way too much. That is so true. We pretty much gave the Niners their defense. Now, what do you think about my guy Mitchell Trubisky? What would you do with him, Jake? Would you cut him, keep him, try to groom him? What do you got?
Well, he's pretty affordable next year. You can't really get anything for him at this point. And you don't have a first or second round pick, like you said. I think you have to give him a chance to challenge for the starting job. Maybe 50-50. Don't give him any favors to the media. Just make him compete for the starting job. And at this point, hope he figures it out. Because if he doesn't, he's a bust. But you gave him his rookie contract. So that's that's all you can do. I mean, I don't know what else you can do next year. Who's the free agent quarterback that you can replace him with? Who's the third round quarterback you want to replace him with?
It really is going to depend on who's on the market. I want to let Jordan Love respond to. So you think he's kind of like his presence? Do you think his presence is negative, Jordan Love? Is that why you'd cut him?
I'd cut him for cap reasons. I said it in I understand his contract isn't too big. Yeah. The Bears are in a spot where they're paying so much money to their defense. Khalil Mack is making bank. And if you're paying that much money to an edge rusher, you can't prioritize money to a quarterback at a certain degree when you're paying so many other pieces on your team. This team has a Super Bowl or contender caliber roster. That's why you need to improve the quarterback position. Freeing up that $2 to $3 million, while it doesn't sound like much, it's going to allow you to pick up depth or even make you able to send a contract to a Phillip Rivers who's going to be in free agency, a Teddy Bridgewater, somebody.
So what if you can't get Teddy Bridgewater? Would you roll the dice on Chase Daniel?
I'd sign a backup, and then I'd probably go into the draft either trying to move up.
I'm just trying to think of a backup that would be a better situation than those two.
Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill's going to be a free agent.
That would be a good one. I like that. See, these are the answers I'm looking for.
Tannehill, Phillip Rivers is going to be out there. I mean, there's a multitude of quarterbacks that are going to be out there on the free agency market.
What were you going to say, Robbie? That's true.
Very, very interestingly enough about Tannehill, I just want to make sure I find this and get it right. Ryan Tannehill in 2019 currently is second among QBs in fantasy points per dropback at 0.79, ranked only behind Lamar Jackson, okay? He is QB3 in fantasy since getting the start in Week 7, fourth in NFL passer rating, 114, second in yards and attempts, 9.2, and fifth in I want to say ADOT. What the fuck? At 9.6. But anyways, he's still right now only owned at 21.4% in ESPN and 38% in Yahoo leagues. This is someone that you guys can definitely go out and get. Like Jay Love mentioned, in real life, we're your Bears, man. That's not a bad pickup. I feel like Cam Newton wouldn't be a bad pickup. Looking later in the draft wouldn't be a bad pickup either. Swaggy D, what's going on, man? Thanks for hopping in. What's up?
What's good?
Oh, what's that kid's name from Washington State? What's his
Yeah.
name?
I'll pull that up. I remember.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, you want to talk third, fourth round quarterbacks? Apparently, especially with Gardner Minshew's success, there's a guy you could go out and snag. Maybe reach a little bit, but a reach might pay off.
Yes, but I agree with finding options. I definitely agree with taking a quarterback third, fourth round, and I definitely think bring up another veteran in to figure it out and see who's the starter. But I would not cut Mitch just to cut Mitch Trubisky at this point.
Like let him fight it out. I kind of like what you said too. Like let him fight it out.
Give him the 50-50. Like give him a chance.
Quarterback still. I think we should still.
And I know you're gonna say he's had it. I know people are gonna say in the chat too. He's had a chance. He's failed this year. But give him his fourth year, and just if he's a backup, he's a backup at this point.
A lot of people get a lot of chances, and he does have some talent. But definitely, let's move on to the next one. While I got you, Jake, I'm gonna take you over to the Cowboys. I know this is Karam Mawani RQ3 in the chat. I know he's been talking about the Cowboys all week for sure. And the Cowboys fans are angry, and despite a bunch of analysts picking the Cowboys to win on Turkey Day, the Buffalo Bills, who look like a pretty dangerous team right now, actually, I have two questions about this. The first one, I'll start with you, Jake. Should the Cowboys move on from Jason Garrett now or at the end of the season?
I will say they should have moved on 2 years ago because it seems like they're like this every 3 or 4 years where they have a decent team. In those 3 years, they're a 500 team fighting for a pretty bad division. And yes, he should have been gone 3 years ago, in my opinion. No reason to keep him this long. But with Jerry Jones, I don't think he will. I think he likes having control of this roster and knowing that he can tell Garrett whatever he wants to, and the team will know what Jerry Jones said. And I don't think it'll change.
I don't know if you guys heard this story.
I hope, but I don't think so.
There was a story about how Jerry Jones could have had Bill Belichick. I found that pretty interesting, but he just doesn't want to give up control.
I heard McDaniels. He really likes Josh McDaniels from the Patriots.
This has been like in the 90s, but yeah, it was before Belichick won. But anyway, I found that interesting. He really is a control freak, Jerry Jones. What do you think about that, Robbie? Should they get rid of Garrett? What do you think they'll do?
So Garrett should have been gone 2 seasons ago, to be honest. Okay?
I agree with you.
There's even possibly an argument that Garrett should have been gone during the Tony Romo era. Okay? Unfortunately, given the fact right now you cannot get rid of Jason Garrett. Are they going to get rid of him at the end of the season? If they are smart, positively, yes, they are going to get rid of him. But that is barring it, of course, if they are smart. You cannot get rid of him right now due to the fact that you are leading the NFC East. You cannot, while you're still leading the division, even though it is very fringe that you are leading, you can't disrupt that organization and create change like that. That is too abrupt at the timing. The timing is not right. So Cowboys fans are going to hate me for saying this, but Jerry Jones right now is unfortunately doing the best thing for them in order to survive. You good there, Jake?
Yeah, I'm just burping a lot. I don't know. It must have ate something weird. Anyway, regardless, I agree with that. He should have been gone a while ago. He's the clap guy. You know what I mean? It's nonsense. What do you think about that, J-Lo?
100% agree. Jason Garrett is limiting this roster a lot. There's not too much else to be said. The one thing I do want to point out, though, as Robbie said, Jerry Jones loves to have control over his roster. And saying that, finding a guy who's dumb enough, yes, I said it, dumb enough, to work under Jerry Jones and just be that clapper guy while also being a decent head coach, it's almost going to be impossible. He's not going to draw in a big name coach or any offensive coordinator or any college coach or defensive coordinator. They're not going to bring anybody in because nobody wants to be under Jerry Jones' controlling self.
Urban Meyer said he would consider it. What about Urban Meyer?
Possibly. I still doubt it.
Again, the biggest name, that's for sure.
I still doubt it. He would have to find somebody who's so gullible, or he would have to pay such a large contract.
People are saying Lincoln Riley, and I don't see that at all. I don't know about
Lincoln Riley wouldn't. No, Lincoln Riley is not leaving.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't see the point.
If Lincoln Riley were to go into NFL, he would want to go to a team where he would have control over the quarterback situation, and he would have his guy. Hey guys,
Another issue is
Which, I mean, this offseason he could, because Dak's going to be a free agent. Boogie.
Hey, what's that?
He's back.
What up?
Back on the
He's
panel.
alive.
Welcome, Ty Boogie back.
let's go. Yeah, we should get Ty's take on this Cowboys question here. Really
Absolutely.
quick.
Oh, I came
JD.
in for the Cowgirls question. Damn, I tried to miss that.
JD, run it by him.
All right, yeah, man. So the Cowboys they've kind of had 2 must wins. What would you do if you're the Cowboys with Jason Garrett? Would you wait to the end of the season? Would you keep him? And if you would get rid of him, who would you target?
Honestly, I don't think it's smart for any team really to try and get rid of their coach in the middle of the season. I mean, like if you're that bad, I get it. But at the moment, they are technically still in line to win the division, at least have a chance to do it. I wouldn't get rid of him mid-season. At the end of the season, absolutely. I mean, that's a different conversation. Like, I get the dude out of here. Mid-season, I think that just blows it up. Who to go after? I mean, as awkward and bad as it sounds, like Mike McCarthy did some great things in Green Bay. That man is looking for a job. So maybe someone like him. I mean, obviously Lincoln Riley. I mean, there's college coaches out there you absolutely look to go for if they're willing to come up to the NFL. But
Urban Meyer was rumored to be interested.
And if they're interested, definitely one of those guys. But I wouldn't fire him mid-season just because that kind of means you're giving up on your season. Essentially, in my eyes, you fire your head coach, you got to figure yourself out and get yourself a new direction. So doing that only means they've given up on winning the division, which they shouldn't quite do yet. When they lose to the Bears next week, you can do that, but you know what it is.
Called it. I like that. Anyone want to push back on that one?
No,
I have one question. It's not regarding this. Drew Lock is starting this week.
Yes, sir.
We'll get to that. What would you want to say about that, Jake?
Let's look at this too. Who played under Jerry Jones and was a great backup and great locker room guy for a long time? Jason Garrett. You think he's going to fire this guy for having a regular season based on his standards? When anybody else he hires is going to not want to give up back control?
This is true.
My gut tells me he'll probably stay just because Jerry Jones knows that Garrett will always listen to him.
With that being said,
Even Aikman called him out, though. I will say that. Aikman was very mad about Garrett's performance, and he's good friends with him, too.
With that being said, I want the Cowboys fans in the audience, I want them to type out how they would feel if they kept Jason Garrett for another season. Anyway, we can move on to the next one. I want to hear that. That's interesting.
Where's Pat at?
You guys.
Where's Pat?
There's a few of them in the chat. I know that for sure. All right, Jake. Let's move on to the next question. CA Sports wants to know. He wants to know how you feel about Drew Lock starting for the Broncos over Joe Flacco.
At this point, if it's a John Elway quarterback, I don't even know what to think anymore. Everything he touches at the quarterback position is a nightmare, but Flacco is broken and old, so I guess he's better and maybe could survive. I don't think Drew Lock could be the guy. Again, I'm the one defending Trubisky, maybe give him another year or fight for the starting job. But yeah, I would bench Flacco at this point. I mean, I would definitely give the young guy a chance to see what he has.
Flacco's not playing.
Tom Jesper like that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but I mean,
Is Brandon Allen playing right now?
Yeah.
Karam says I will not control it well.
Yeah, but yeah, play the young guys. Overall, just play the young guys. Figure it out while you can, and they're cheap. If they fail, you get out of the rookie contract.
I like that. Ride the youth. But how do you feel about Drew Lock, Robbie J? Do you think he has potential? You want to see him try?
Well, yeah, the kid has potential. Like you drafted this kid for situations like this where you're dealing with adversity because of the adversity that he dealt with at Mizzou. Let the kid play. I mean, now he's off the IR. John Elway, you're going to keep constantly cycling through quarterbacks anyways. I mean, even if he does do good, the second they start showing flashes of doing good, that's the second that Elway's gonna be like, oh, we gotta get this kid out of there, you know. So it doesn't matter, you know, whatever the case may be, just because of Elway's personality type as an owner. But I hope Drew Lock goes out there and completely just balls out. Yet again, another NFL rookie that we interviewed. Yet again, another NFL rookie that that will be starting this year. This is the year of the rookies. It's amazing to see NFL's turnover year. Like I told you guys, last year and now heading into year 2 as far as this podcast. I'm excited for it.
Hell yeah. Ty, same question. How do you feel about Drew Lock starting? Would it be a good? You want to see this potential?
I mean, of course. I mean, damn, the dude took a accident at the airport and had his bus smashed in, and he was all good. So he can take some hits. But I mean, honestly, at this point, like the Broncos are on the back end of the NFL. You might as well. Flacco obviously isn't able to play, so why not let the kid get some reps, put it under his belt? Worst case scenario, you take a loss. You probably were going to do that with Allen or Flacco anyways. So let the kid at least get some reps under his belt, see if you like it. Again, I mean, a couple people have said like Flacco, none of these guys that they've brought in have been really any luck for Elway. So let the kid play. What's the worst that happens? He throws a couple interceptions, you take him out,
might lose anyway.
Whatever it is. So there's nothing to lose at this point for the Broncos. You just need to get yourself back in check over the offseason. So, yeah, why not? I like the kid's potential. Like Robbie said, I mean, he's coming from a spot where he took a lot of adversity. He was running around for his life in the pocket even for that. So why not let the kid at least put something under his belt? Again, we have plenty of other teams, other guys we interviewed that are getting that chance to do that. And some of them it's paying off. So.
You interviewed some stars, man. I suggest you guys all check that out on sportscaster.com /Rumboyz. It's definitely badass interviews. Jordan Love, same question. What do you want to see out of Drew Lock?
I mean, you guys saw my face when I heard that he was starting. I'm so happy right now. I'm
stoked, dude.
I try to keep myself unbiased when I did most of the tape breakdowns last year for you, Robbie, but I love Drew Lock. His arm is amazing. He has good pocket presence. He knows when to move. He's mobile enough. I mean, we saw that at Mizzou. He was running like a chicken with his head cut off, and then he would make nothing. He would make something out of nothing. It's just gonna be just like that here in Denver for him. That offensive line is pretty. That offensive line is more than bad, in fact. But one thing I do want to point out, he's a better quarterback than the past quarterbacks we've seen John Elway take. Everybody had questions about Paxton Lynch.
Oh, he's way better than Paxton.
Yeah. Most people could sit up here and tell you that Paxton Lynch was going to be a bust. This kid, completely different. Another thing I do want to point out, you have Phillip Lindsay here now. You have Courtland Sutton. You have Noah Fant. All of these are huge weapons, especially Courtland Sutton, who right now, he has my Pro Bowl vote. In my opinion, he is a Pro Bowl caliber receiver. He's had an amazing season. He's risen. He's a certified 6'4", 220-pound, big-bodied weapon. And he's going to be that safety net for this young quarterback. And in my opinion, if it wasn't for the offensive line, this is a great position for Drew Lock to be in. And I think he's going to have a great game this weekend.
I hope you're right. That'd be interesting to see. Let's stick with you and ask you the same, or let's ask you a different question. The next question. So Josh Shaw of the Arizona Cardinals faces over a year-long suspension from the NFL for gambling on games. The NFL reports there was, quote, no proof of insider knowledge being used in this case. Is this a Pete Rose 2.0 or not really that big of a deal?
I mean, does he even play?
Nice.
That's a good point.
IR.
No.
He's on IR.
Tell
no,
us.
he doesn't
You
play.
tell us.
Josh Shaw has never played. He will never play. He's a bum, okay? Let's get it out of the way. He has no factor in anything going on with these games. He's never – I don't think he's even had a tackle this season for the Cardinals. He does not play. We had Chris Jones, a guy who we need to cut. He's that bad in a secondary who, when Patrick Peterson was on suspension, he couldn't even play then. So let's get that through. No, this is not a Pete Rose situation. He's awful. It is what it is. He was a guy making a bet, and while it's not okay, he's actively participating in these games. I mean, there's not much going on. He's just another dude who happens to have a job that's kind of interfering with it.
All right, Ty, same question. Do you think it's a big deal or not a big deal?
I think the only reason we're even talking about is this is sports betting. But honestly, I think sports betting is right direction. I mean, I understand them giving someone a suspension for, betting on your own sport. I guess you kind of have a factor in. I mean, he's a defensive back. He could have bet against his own team and let a touchdown up at the end to lose the game. So
true.
Depending on the bet size, I mean, shit, he could have cashed out there. So I understand it. I mean, I guess there isn't a whole lot to say. I mean, I agree with Jay Love on this. Like, if he was a main part of the team, this would be a problem. But the dude is just kind of there. I mean, again, we haven't even really heard of him making plays or doing anything this year. So is the NFL petty for it? I mean, yeah, like a year long, like, damn, man, there's people hitting people in the head with helmets, and it's just the other second half of the season. But I understand it because, again, you can have a factor in how the bet turns out, and that's really not fair. Like if you have your own little ace up your sleeve, that's kind of beat up. He could do something to have them lose the game if he bets against them. But
what if he knows somebody's going through something?
Hey, he has not played a single snap.
I mean, it could be like the longest yard. He could throw the game. I mean, who knows? He could have ended up in jail for it.
Yeah, but what if he knows Kyler Murray's having a bad week or something like that? It is insider knowledge.
Exactly.
He has not played a snap. He's on IR.
Do you think the suspension is warranted?
Oh yeah. So here's my thing.
I would take that away.
Yeah, here's my thing with it. You don't find like you can't financially put money like on games if you are involved in the league. Like that just shouldn't be allowed. Like I had thought about it, and this is the second time today that this is happening. Earlier when it happened today, it happened to a FIFA referee who took millions of dollars in bribes. Now that I get that that's on a higher severity because one, that's World Cup. Two, we're talking about people paying you and bribing you to sway games and fix games in a certain manner. And no one is able to tell exactly what games you fixed. I get that he may have been on IR and he couldn't necessarily, sway those games because he was not participating. And maybe he just didn't anticipate himself playing ever anyway. So he's like, fuck it. If they find out, at least I got this, And I guarantee that he went into it with the thought process of, I'm in the NFL. Gambling is legal now. Let me try and make some money off of what I know. If you know the playbook, you know the game scripts, even though you're not playing, you can still go out there and place a very worthy bet. That's my thing on it. It is definitely warranted. It should not be allowed if you are participating in a professional sport. We can do it. They can't.
I feel that. Jake, do you think it's a big deal or not a big deal?
Well, yeah, it's a big deal because even Floyd Mayweather in his own fight against Conor McGregor, individual sport, by the way, cannot bet on himself to win that fight. You're in a team sport with a playbook, organized settings, and you have these set defenses. You have the first 20 plays of an offense scripted. You could have ran them in practice or been at the facility. Say you give this to another team and nobody knows about it. And they know your first 20 plays as an offense. I mean, I'm not saying it happened here and it probably didn't,
right,
but it can happen. And that can't happen anywhere in the NFL. There's no place for that.
It's true. I like how they came down with a swift hammer, too.
And it could be a lifetime ban, too. And they were only giving him that year.
He put his foot on the line, didn't quite cross it, and then they just came out and just smacked him across the face.
Yeah, and I don't think he was that big of a player anyways, so he probably won't play again. But they could have just given him a lifetime ban without ever negotiating with him at all, and he's done. So they were kind of light on him in a way, based on the league rules.
These are all good takes. I agree with a lot of them. I also kind of agree that because he's so irrelevant, Jordan Love was saying that in this case, it doesn't matter. I think the message that I took out of it was, the league is not effing around, so don't break the rules. All right, moving on to the next question. Jake Miller, my guy. If you had to start, so you're a GM, right? You're a GM now, right? You're a GM of the NFL team, and you're the number one overall. What's that?
We're 0-16. Just instantly.
Jeez. Come on, man. I had faith in you. All right. All right. You're GM of an NFL team, and you have the number one overall pick in a fantasy draft, and your team wants to pick a quarterback. Who are you taking? Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, or somebody else? Tell me.
It would be between Lamar or Kyler based on the rushing stats.
Ooh.
I would probably go with Lamar until his rookie contract is up because they're going to run him to death until they have to pay him that $35 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's a quick take I'm going to have right there. I mean, I think Lamar is going to have another 2 years of being able to run like this before they hold him back and make him play a little safer. So I think I take Lamar for the next couple of years.
Okay. So, like, win a Super Bowl now, you want Lamar. What about you, Robbie J?
I gotta agree with Jake there. Let's go out there. Let's go get it. Let's go get it now. And also with that, I mean, if I had, a Russell Wilson, a Lamar Jackson, one of these, kind of guys that extend plays with their legs, I like that from the quarterback standpoint. And I think that's what the future of the quarterback position is coming. We're going to start seeing less and less of the traditional pocket passer. So if I could get one of those guys, and then, the next year, whenever, kind of Lamar runs out, like you said, he has about 2 years left in him to do this. I can go out of the draft because this play style is going to be replicated over years. I can go get someone, have him train that other kid, and so on and so forth.
Interesting. That's an interesting take, too. What about you, Ty? Would you take the pocket passer or the runners?
Honestly, I'll be honest. I wouldn't even take a quarterback if I had the first pick. I'm a hot take it off the bat. I'm running CMC.
Okay.
CMC.
Okay, yeah.
If I have to choose between a pocket passer or runner, I agree with Robbie. The way of the quarterback is going to go towards at least being more mobile. But I would go with Christian McCaffrey. Dude can help save a quarterback. I mean, damn, like Carolina hasn't had a quarterback in a while. I'm only saying that because Cam, I still don't trust Cam's arm. I've told you guys that for forever. Mm-hmm. But he is pretty much single-handedly keeping that team afloat. So I'm going with him. I'll let him run my team and pretty much touch the ball 45 times a game if I have to.
Just run him into the ground. Jordan Love.
Yeah, I'm pretty much going to completely agree with Jake. I'm either going to take Mahomes. There's got to be three guys you're going to pick if you're a GM. If you have a quarterback of your choice, you're either taking Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, or Kyler Murray. All three of them are mobile. They're great in the pocket. Well, Lamar Jackson's okay in the pocket. They'll have good presence. They can move. Very accurate. As for Ty, I'm not taking a running back with that first pick. No. I'll take Jalen Ramsey if I have a first pick in a draft. Shut down half the field.
Damn. Okay. Damn.
Wow.
Hey,
I want Jake to respond, and I got to say something too. What do you got, Jake?
Hey, fun fact. Maybe Josh Allen, because he has the most rushing touchdowns in the NFL for a quarterback, like 7 right now.
I don't know
Allen.
his accuracy. That's my issue.
Yeah. It's those rushing yards, though, man. He gets some fantasy points. I didn't know that until just now.
No, he's great.
We talked about him.
His accuracy is kind
of I mean, as a real game quarterback, I agree, but like those rushing stats are nuts, especially finding the end zone like that.
That is facts, and I agree.
Right?
Good job, Jake.
I had no idea. I just looked it up.
I'm
not that smart. I use Google. So
8 rushing touchdowns?
I think he had one yesterday against Dallas. Yeah.
I like it, but y'all are insane. I just got to say it right now. You're crazy, each and every one of you, man. I'm telling you, at least on this. Patrick Mahomes, man, you guys forget what he was like last year.
I mentioned him.
Well, you did mention him. But it should be through the roof. Home run pick. This man threw 50 touchdowns in his first full season starting. He made it. He was one play away from the Super Bowl. I mean, just because he got banged up a little bit, everybody just forgets about him. But I mean, you guys did make good points. I'm not gonna.
I mean,
if we're talking real football, I agree. On the field, yes.
My man's
He can go,
dislocated
but-
his kneecap
It's true.
on a QB sneak.
Pull him out
This
of
is in question
and
now.
I'll take him. Tell him to stop
What's
doing
that?
50 commercials a season. I'll take him.
Damn.
What do you
Okay.
think he is, Baker
Good
2.0?
response.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I like it. All right, Jordan Love. I will take you for this next question. Looks like we are okay. We're moving on to the NBA. Remember, guys, drop your fantasy questions in the chat. Drop them in the chat right now so I can write them down, and we'll talk about them at the end of the show. So let's see. Carmelo Anthony back in the league. I've critiqued him. I've also given him some compliments on my channel. He's starting to play very efficiently the last 3 games. Lillard said on Melo's comeback, quote, I told Melo we will look back at our careers. Everybody won't say I got a ring or I was the MVP, but everybody can have certain things or can't have certain things. Being a part of a team is sharing special moments with each other. Being here for Melo's comeback, blah, blah. He basically was saying he would rather have a good time on the basketball court than be with Melo. Do you think Melo can contribute to this team in a winning, bring them to the next level, or no? Or is he just kind of a guy?
So, since he's been on the team, I believe they are 2-1, if I'm not mistaken.
I think 2-2, but yeah, they've won 2 games. You're right.
Yeah, I know they've won 2 games. I believe they're 2-1, if I'm not mistaken. But I did do a little bit of research regarding this. The last time we were on the show, or the last time that I was on the show, and we were talking about Carmelo Anthony, the Blazers were ranked 15th in offensive efficiency and 19th in defensive efficiency. And with Carmelo Anthony, exactly what you would expect happened. They fell from 19th to 21st. 21st in defensive efficiency and rose from 15th to 11th in offensive efficiency. So they're becoming a lot better on the offensive end and becoming only slightly worse when it comes to defense. So if you think about it from that side, they actually have gotten better since they've signed Carmelo Anthony. If they're outscoring and putting more offensive output than they are lacking on the defensive end with him on the team, then I have to say that the signing has to improve. And they're also 2-1, which means they're doing something right, considering they were 5-11 before he joined the team. No matter what Damian Lillard says, who I love, by the way, wins matter.
Wins do matter.
Wins speak volume.
So, what do you think, Ty? Too early to tell, or is he going to make an impact?
I mean, I guess it is too early to tell. I mean, I'd like to see. I usually like about a, span of being able to tell whether or not it is officially good or bad. But you know what? Like Jay Love said, I mean, they were the middle or bottom of the pack in both categories. I would at least like to see them be a top 10 in one of the categories. If you're going to be that good offensively, yes, your defense will suffer. If you're going to be that good defensively, yes, your offense will suffer. It's hard in any sport to be, top 10 in both. It's very impressive if you are. I mean, look at the Ravens right now. But I like it. You know what? At least it gives Melo a chance to come back. I mean, you got to love Melo. People that have been watching basketball for forever have a spot for Melo. No matter all that's happened, he didn't do anything bad to get himself out of the league. He just, wasn't much of a team player. And I think he kind of maybe got humbled a little bit, whether that's him getting kind of kicked in the teeth to become humble or what it was. But I think he's also still just trying to get his feet back under him. He's been very efficient, like you said. I mean, one of his more efficient games in his career already against the Thunder the other day. So I think it'll slowly but surely kind of come together. I do think when it comes to playoff time, though, it will actually be a problem because I think Dame time is not available for Melo time. So I just think once it comes towards crunch time, I think Damian Lillard's really going to want to take over. And though Melo may take a step back because he is a bit more humble, I think that could be a bit of a problem. Right now, I like it.
Hell yeah. I think he's a great catch and shoot player. What do you think, Robbie J?
There's You can't even try and make the take that, oh, it's awesome that they have someone older, in the locker room, veteran presence, because Lillard and McCollum are already those presences for this team. Is definitely Ian. What's going on, man? Hopping in over here on a Sportscaster. Appreciate it, buddy. But so we can't even state that. I mean, I do think that it is a good addition for them due to the fact that damn, that is a serious fight in the. Damn, dude, damn.
Oh yeah, there was some Myles Garrett stuff there, minus the whole helmet actually getting off the head.
Yeah.
Some curb stomps.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I do think that it does help them. It gives them an extra body, being that that is a piece that they needed until Lillard comes back. But I mean, once Lillard is back, it's completely the Dollar Dame show. It'll be interesting to see how they all work together when Dame comes back. But it's still too small of a sample size to tell. But so far, I mean, I'm liking what he's doing. It appears that, like you and I had talked to JD about him having to shake the rust off. It looks like he's kind of gotten a little bit of that off.
Yeah, his shot is wet, that's for sure. I don't like how he drives a lot, but his shot is wet. What do you think, Jake? Have you been watching him at all?
I watched 3 games, but to say, like, will this help the team? Do you know what the record is right now?
Yeah, like they won like 6 games, I think.
7-12, yeah. So they can't be much worse for having Damian Lillard on our team, right? Lillard's a superstar on a really bad team, so I'd imagine you would hope they get to the 8th seed at least and pass the Phoenix Suns. So, yeah, I think they're a little better with him. I mean, he's not a difference maker in terms of playoff games because he was benched for his lack of defense with the Thunder for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, this extra scoring might sneak them into the playoffs. And I could see them actually passing everybody up to the 6th seed because the Utah Jazz are pretty solid. So I could see them ending up a 6th seed at best, but it's better than their 7-12 record right now.
It's pretty crazy that this team was in the Western Conference Finals last year and played really well. It's nuts. It's a little crazy about, but
scared to make a desperate move. Don't want them to make any desperate.
It's chemistry.
Get mellow, but
it seems like a desperate move. Kind of like they were like 4-10 or something, and they got mellow or something like that.
The Blazers are going to be a team that are going to make a move sometime around the deadline to pick up something else. Around that time, also, Yusuf Nurkic is going to come back, who's a huge piece of their team. Also, remember, Zach Collins is out. They're riddled by injuries. And once they get healthy, again, if they can just maintain afloat around that 9-10 seed, once they get healthy, they bring back certainly a top 15 center in the league in Yusuf Nurkic. And you bring in Zach Collins, who's a quality depth player, especially in the playoffs last year. He played great. I mean, you're just bringing in more guys who can help out this team win games, and certainly the Suns are on a losing streak. They started out like 5-2. They were one of the best teams in the league, and now they're sitting at 8-9. So
8-9, yeah, I looked it up.
Yeah, they're being the Phoenix Suns.
Probably be around 500 if it would be an improvement though, actually. So
yeah, they haven't won more than, I think it was 25 games since Devin Booker's been on the team.
Dang. That's pretty crazy. There's a lot to be said about the young talent in the NBA. There's a lot of, it's like a transition period we're going through. I mean, obviously we talked a lot about the new age game where the space, you shoot really deep, you shoot a lot of threes. But man, there's a lot of young players that are going to be stars in this league, and it's happening fast.
Can I just mention that I won my fucking drinking partner back? Ty.
Oh,
bro, I know.
It's Friday, bro. We should be getting fucked up after this episode.
I need to, honestly. I do. It's gonna be a thing.
Next question. All right, so it's more NBA. Well, it's NBA drama. So Jordan Love, Kyrie Irving has been injured, But regardless, the Boston faithful showed up with signs and heckling remarks, which prompted Irving to go on a text-based rant on Instagram about basketball, life, and a bunch of other things. Brooklyn fans also responded when Boston came to town by chanting "Kyrie's better" when Kemba Walker was shooting free throws. Danny Ainge said he should have "quote-unquote" cleaned up the roster last year. What would you have done last year? And can we all admit that I was right?
Yes, we can.
We'll start with that. We'll start with that.
At what point are you gonna say at the start of the season, deadline, what?
I mean, well, Danny Ainge even admitted it that probably before the deadline he should have traded Irving. I mean, that's kind of what he said.
The trade deadline. I try and clean up some cap space. I don't know why this is a recurring thing for me in today's episode. But
in every episode,
I would have moved on from Kyrie Irving. Personally, if I could have traded him for Kemba Walker, Kyrie Irving, and something else, because it's Charlotte and they'd probably be well received to taking Kyrie Irving in, then I would have done it. Possibly maybe shipping out Marcus Smart while he has been a pretty good player for them. Again, it's just improving the roster. Gordon Hayward is a guy you could also move on from. Overall, I think Danny Ainge is completely right in how he should have reshaped a little bit and retooled the roster to just better prepare for the future. Keeping Aaron Baines would have been a priority of mine because their bigs are shot at the current moment. So as for a rivalry, kind of sprouting in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's the main question.
Every team's gonna have something. I mean, the league's been around for more than 50 years. It's been okay. Every team is gonna have some sort of occurrence with another team that's gonna sprout something. There's always something that every single fan can point back on in their lifetime that something happened. The Celtics and the Heat, the Jason Terry dunk. Oh my God. Something's always with every single team. And this is just going to be another one of those things that could sprout a rivalry in the near future, but I don't think it'll develop anything long term.
Right on.
JD, I make sure you're getting all those questions.
Yeah. I was just about to say, we got a bunch of new questions in the chat. I love it.
That is moving super fucking fast.
Appreciate you. All right. So, Ty, same question. Do you think there's a rivalry brewing from Brooklyn to Boston?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Are you kidding? And the thing is, Kyrie Irving himself did it. I mean, he is fueling it. He is enjoying it. He is specifically like, he is trying to stir up the entire East Coast. Screw the Eastern, like the whole Eastern Coast. We are better than the Knicks. We are better than the Celtics. I mean, he is firing it up. But you know what? I like that. If I'm the Nets GMs, I'm like, you know what? As long as you're not going to be the way you were with the Celtics, because he ran the Celtics into the ground. He ruined that team. They went from a great team. We're doing fantastic. We're making playoffs. Isaiah Thomas was an all-star MVP conversation. Kyrie comes in and, I mean, I thought Bobby was going to have a heart attack watching the Celtics. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, as long as Kyrie is not going to put another organization in the ground or come out and say the earth is flat again, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, he's starting rivalries, and honestly, I love it. I'm with that. Bring the rivalry.
You call them ignorant ignoramuses.
That is what makes sports, man. That is what makes sports. Is watching two teams just be pissed and go head to head and throw a little bit of scrapping in there. But I think it's going to be a good rivalry. I think Kemba is a quiet assassin who has nothing to say but put up 40 points on that team. And I think Kyrie's going to be the same way when he does get the chance to finally play them. So I'm excited about it. But yes, it is a rivalry now.
It's a fun rivalry now. I like it. I hope it happens in the playoffs. Robbie J, how do you feel about the Boston-Brooklyn situation?
Yo, I think it's freaking fucking hilarious, bro. So first off, Kyrie, aside from him hitting that clutch shot for Bron back in Cleveland, aka Believeland back then, he's pretty much been cancerous. Like, I've said this millions of times about Kyrie. You should have never left LeBron's side. Wherever LeBron went, you should have went. And I'm happy that you're not a Laker because of how great we're doing now. The fact that you did not go out there and play, oh, my injury is a shoulder, whatever. I call bullshit. If it was any other team but the Celtics that you were going to play, if it was any other place but the Garden, you would have been out there. You knew that you were going to get trolled. You couldn't handle it. You're sensitive, just like your teammate, KD. I'm sorry, KD, that you're not healthy, but yes, I am putting both of you guys' personalities into the same breadbasket because you guys are
facts.
Huh?
Facts. I'm with that. Both
Yeah.
sensitive as hell.
You know, I'm sorry because of everything that I just mentioned will be why Brooklyn is going to not win. Kyrie, I just pray to freaking God you learn about yourself and you self-assess yourself and realize that in all of your relationships, you've been the problem.
Probably. What do you think about that one, Jake? Have you been
Well, yes. So who does this sound like in this quote? All the people that were rooting for me to fail at the end of the day tomorrow have to wake up and have the same life problems they had before. Who said that?
Kyrie, didn't he?
LeBron. LeBron
Oh,
said that.
LeBron
After he
said
lost after the Dallas Mavericks series.
It does sound
So,
like
yeah.
LeBron. Good
He
point.
did say that. So are we going to call LeBron a crybaby and a loser who just did cancer to a locker room?
Nah, because
Exactly. I mean, I think he was in his feelings. LeBron was in his feelings too. And he actually said later in the quote, they have the same problems they had today, and I'm going to continue to live my life the way I want to live it and do the things I want to do where I want to go. So he pretty much just flexed on people who he was better than after he lost in the finals. So are we going to say Kyrie's in the same boat as that and can improve? Or are we going to say Kyrie's instantly a cancer forever? And I say Kyrie made a mistake. I'm the first to say that. But a lot of players have, including the face of the league today. So I give him a slight pass.
I like that. I think there is a scenario where Kyrie could actually improve a team again. I don't think he's improving teams right now. I don't think he cares about basketball right now. Honestly, I feel like
I definitely agree with that.
Accomplished. He feels like he has senioritis. It feels like to me. it does. He's like, oh, I got a title. I win. I'm done. Thanks, guys. I want to retire now.
He's waiting for KD.
That's true. And once KD comes back, maybe his mentality will totally change. And this year's kind of a wash anyway. Don't you guys agree with that? Like,
I think they do go into it. They were hoping for like a 6 seed at best.
One thing I do want to add.
Knowing the potential of next year, yeah. Knowing the potential of you and KD being on the court at the same time, yeah, it's kind of a wash.
So you said as a Laker fan, you're glad you don't have Kyrie Irving. As a Bulls fan, I'm gonna ask all you guys this. I know Ty's a Bulls fan.
Bring Russell.
JD's a Bulls fan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want Kyrie Irving anywhere near my team. So I'm going to ask all you guys this. Do you want Kyrie Irving? Do you want to even be near him?
No. You can't win.
I'll take him.
No.
I'll take him. You're tripping.
Without LeBron or someone like LeBron, I don't think he's going to win.
I'll take him.
Kyrie is so much of a child that he needs to he needs someone like LeBron. He needs another alpha male in the locker room to kind of guide him. You know, that's why do you think him and his father's relationship off the court is the way that it is? Kyrie needs guidance. Kyrie is trying to set out on his own, and you see it that he's trying to be his own man, and it's just not working out for him.
Separate example. Look, you guys forget Kyrie was like 18. The dude didn't even have like, oh my God, I'm about to get all nasty about it. But dude, Kyrie didn't even have peach fuzz at the time he got into the NBA. Like, think about another guy who now is kind of maturing. D'Angelo Russell. Remember the things that were talked about when he did his whole Swaggy P thing, and like we had problems with D'Angelo Russell.
Snitch.
Exactly. I won't say he's not because I mean he's screwed for the rest of his career. But like, let Kyrie evolve a little bit. Let him grow up. I mean, I'm not trying to defend the guy. Like I already said, like he ruined Boston. He had a great thing going. That team could have been phenomenal, and he ruined that. But let the dude grow up a little bit. You know, maybe him kind of going out on his own, he didn't really. I mean, he got to choose Boston, but he didn't really choose Boston. I think he's going to be happy in Brooklyn, and I think maybe this is a different opportunity for him to, again, mature the place he wants to be and with the person he wants to be with.
That's a good point. He didn't choose Boston. He was traded to Boston. So he did say he'd stay. And to touch on what Robbie said, I don't think KD is the alpha male that Kyrie needs, but I'll let Robbie finish that point up.
Is it just me, or does it feel like we're talking about Kyrie in the sense of like that friend that can't just get their shit together when it comes to relationships? Ty, I feel like we talk about Kyrie in the sense where we're like with Pete, where it's like, dog,
you said it out loud. You said it out loud. Damn it.
like, bro, you should just not worry. Like, you just don't date. Like,
the first thing, as soon as you started that, I knew you were gonna say him, and I was like, "Don't fucking say it. Don't say it.
Don't say it. It's okay. I'm gonna text him and tell him like, I'm sorry. I threw you underneath the bus on air.
Yeah, he knows.
Bobby, how do you feel about Kyrie?
Fuck Kyrie. He ruined Boston. We gave him the keys. We gave him the keys to the establishment, and he clearly was not ready for the lights and the pressure and the media. And he folded like a house of cards. And then his feeble little childish mind couldn't handle Boston. Couldn't handle Boston, and it folded. And then it started. It you know, the toxicity in the locker room, it just wasn't a good mix. It was not a good mix. That I think he was too immature for them to give him that kind of responsibility, and it ultimately ended up costing them. Like, look at the chemistry now with Kemba in place, completely different. They're 12 and it's completely different.
You know what's different
now,
about it?
Is Kyrie talent wise better than Kemba? Yes.
Yeah.
You guys had a lot of kids in that locker room, like literally like kids in that locker room though at that time. I mean, again, trust me, you just got in here, but I haven't been defending Kyrie, but you guys had a lot of kids in that locker room.
I haven't said this in a while because I haven't seen you, Ty. Fuck the Bears too.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, how's New England doing? Oh wait, you're fucking New England.
You know what makes Walker so great, man, is that he saw Tatum. I was watching it the other night. He saw Tatum start to take off a little bit, start to snowball, and he said, "Okay, I'm not going to shoot." He
gave him the ball.
And
Kyrie doesn't do that.
Kemba's good at like just the distribution of the basketball. Like the open guy gets the shot, and he's good. You know what he's good at too? Reeling Marcus Smart in too.
Yeah, he's just a good leader.
Because if you let Marcus Smart shoot the basketball every time, like he's either going to launch a three. You know, it's the shots that Smart takes, like they literally make me shake my head because he just shooting the basketball. It just does not make any sense with him. Like, just play defense and do that. Like, do not shoot, Marcus. Don't shoot the basketball ever.
Yeah, and I think we all have to come back to the fact that LeBron was immature. A lot of players are immature before they're 23, 24-year-old stars. But Kyrie's not good enough to get away with it like LeBron was. Especially when LeBron said that after the Dallas series. He was a top 2 player in the league, probably top player in the league in most people's opinions. So Kyrie does not have enough credibility on the court to get away with this like these other stars that are immature do, like Kevin Durant and LeBron.
I agree with that, Nick.
Like Jake, you hit it 100%, dude. Like LeBron can do the things he can because he's a planet player. Kyrie is not there talent-wise.
I 100% agree with that. LeBron gets away with it because he's LeBron.
Because he's LeBron, and what he does on a basketball court is freaking ridiculous.
I like that. Sticking with you, Jake. So my guy Luka Doncic is 14-6-6 right now, and Nick Howard wants to know from the chat. Nick Howard is also a panelist on here. He's been on here plenty of times, probably like more than a lot of people. But Nick wants to know, is Luka in the same tier as Giannis, LeBron, and Kawhi? Now,
I have to see a whole season, but if he keeps these numbers up, I don't see how you say he's not. I really don't. The dude's numbers are so versatile at this age. He's putting up triple-double numbers and on pace for it. That they're like Jason Kidd numbers, but he's putting up the 20-plus points to help his team offensively even more. So, yeah, if he keeps this up, for sure. I don't see how you deny that. But I have to see him do it 82 games. I mean, to put him top 3 MVP, he'd have to do 82 games. If LeBron keeps this up, I think he'll get the MVP. And I think in the next couple years, I could see Luka getting 2 out of the next 3 MVPs if he keeps these numbers up. No doubt.
Let's say they win 50 games. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I think he'll get the MVP second nomination if these Lakers keep it up. But I mean, if he gets 50 plus wins, he'll be second or third in the MVP. I would be shocked if he's not.
They're on track. What do you think, Robbie J? You think he's in the same tier or just under?
Right now, because the only reason why I'm going to state just under, and I feel like anyone else that is kind of within the same feeling as me is going to state that he is just under that, is due to the fact of his age and how many seasons he played. But I feel like there's no doubt and it is with the utmost respect that you have to compare him to LeBron, mainly because that's who he is pretty much replicating at this point in his career. He's on that path. I could almost kind of see it to where he may have to leave Dallas, go somewhere else, win, and then come back to Dallas, win there. You know, I see a lot of similarities between him and Bron's career and some paths and twists and turns that may have to take. I'm enjoying watching this kid. I'm enjoying covering this kid. I know that you're enjoying covering this kid. You cover him a whole hell of a lot. He's a pleasure to watch, and he deserves to be in that company.
He's like super like agile for his size too. Like super agile for his size. Like dudes that big shouldn't be able to put the moves that he did. Like he's a hell of a player.
Not fast but quick.
That's a good description. Yeah, because he's not a fast guy, but when he,
controls the pace really well too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, when you see that step back jumper, it's so hard to not play up on him, and that's the problem. Where he can blow by anybody. Yeah, you can blow by anybody when you're hitting a 30-foot step back jumper.
And you do that to AD, you can do that to anyone. Period.
Yeah.
End of story.
Oh yeah, it's so ridiculous.
Take this one away, Ty.
And another thing, JD, he draws a lot of fouls too because he's just so big. You know what I mean? Like he's just so big. He draws a lot of fouls and gets sent to the line a lot too. So
he said last week that he does study James Harden. He said that he watches him all the time. So that's probably a reason why. What do you think about this one, Ty Boogie?
I'm putting him in the category. I'm gonna say he's there. I'm gonna say he's there because he is a problem. Opposing teams know they have to study for him. They have Porzingis, and they don't give a damn about covering Porzingis. They have to figure out how to cover him. You play the Lakers, AD is also in that category. You have to worry about these two. There's other guys that are just as good, like the Suns' Devin Booker, but he's kind of got to have a hell of a game or be hot. You got to worry about him. You got to study for him, but you can get him defended. Luka's figured out a way to get past whatever he needs to get past and figure out defenders. He's a problem. When you play the Mavericks, the rest of the team maybe is not up to notch where you're like, well, I mean, we got to get this W. This is a hard W to get, but this kid is not easy to cover for any defender at this point. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. Defensive player of the year, Draymond Green will have trouble with the guy when he comes back to the court. He is somebody the teams have to take the back of their head has to hurt. It has to hurt just to try and play this guy. So I get it. I mean, I like what Jake said. I'd like to see a whole year out of him and have him be consistent throughout the year, but I'm putting him in the category. I'm not trying to play the Mavericks because I haven't played this kid.
Yeah, and what I see as well, which is scary, is he has passes that are like he did a fake behind the back off the elbow pass and dish it to his center. Wasn't Porzingis, it was a backup. And the center didn't even expect it. Went right through his hands. He's making passes his own teammates don't expect, which is so scary on the fast break. He's such a talented passer, it's ridiculous.
That is probably, if not his best attribute. Robbie, you look like you were about to say something, and then we'll move on to J Love.
Yes, I do have something to say. Guys, do remember merch is on sale. Items for this Black Friday have kind of already started. I mean, I don't want to kind of use like going hot, but items are starting to come off the shelves. Shout out to Pat 1984 snatching up that exclusive Pirate Gang collection. And also we have a couple of clock management items already off the market. Do remember, guys, if you want to support Bobby, promo code Butcher for 10% off. If you want to support JD, promo code Central for 10% off your order. Promo code Rumboyz gets you free shipping off your order. Promo code Clock gets you 10% off clock management orders. Support us. Let us know what you utilize those promo codes in all caps, for whatever you're ordering, so we know what's what. And you are also putting money into these guys' pockets here on the panel. So support them because they work very hard.
Hell yeah.
Jordan
Love, I want to hear your take on is Luka Doncic in the Kawhi LeBron tier, and then I want to say one more thing about this.
What's your take there, Bieber?
I'm not tired. I don't really know. The one question I've had two questions with Luka Doncic coming into this season. And it was mainly his defense. First of all, I still don't understand how, I still want to get more of a reading on how hard he tries on the defensive end. And also, it was his quickness. And apparently, because I saw this came out, the Mavericks management and staff decided that they wanted to give him a break last offseason because he was playing so hard and played against professionals since he was 13 to give his body a break. Coming into the season, he's dropped 20 pounds, got a lot quicker, visibly gotten faster, and overall, he's just become more of a dominant player. If similar to Jake, I would say if he keeps up at this pace, which I almost don't think is even possible, he reminds me of Westbrook. He's not okay. Listen, let me rephrase that. Westbrook.
Okay, I was like,
yeah. Let me rephrase that. His ability to be he plays bigger than he is. No, listen. He plays bigger than he is. He's a ball dominant player. He's a better shooter. He's a better version of what Westbrook is. He's a more in control, ball dominant, all around player. I can't believe I'm saying this right now. He's probably the best prospect I've ever seen in the NBA. Yeah. As a 20-year-old player, he's averaging a triple-double nearly.
Almost, yeah.
He's your ideal player, and you have to put him in that category for that alone.
Taylor, go get a fucking Red Bull.
Pass Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
Pass heavy Paul Pierce.
Hey,
pass heavy Paul Pierce, better passing. What's up, Jake?
So I have a question for you guys here. So you aren't surprised that T-Mac decided to say that he's surprised that a dude from Europe can get 11 rebounds a game? You guys see that on ESPN?
That's pretty funny.
He's like, this dude that can't jump from Europe is getting 11 rebounds a game. It's ridiculous. And he's called the league soft because Luke is getting 11 rebounds a game. It's kind of hilarious.
Not sure it's because he's from Europe.
That's kind of racist.
It's effort.
I mean, it was implied that he's not a 40-inch vertical guy, so he shouldn't get 10 plus rebounds a game.
T-Mac loves Luka. He absolutely loves him. But I was going to say, I will say he is in the 1A category. He's not one. Let me tell you why. One is LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard, two guys that have been to the finals and can take over. KD, yes. We'll see how he is when he comes back. But here's what I'm saying. This. Look at the duels that took place this year. I've seen a lot of them between Luka. When he faced LeBron at the end of the game, like it was just a shot for shot. Like those guys were going hard at each other. But at the end of the game, who took advantage? Who got into the other one's skin? It was LeBron getting to Luka's skin. Why? Because he's 20 years old. He's still a baby. Same with Giannis. Giannis got owned by Kawhi Leonard, and Kawhi Leonard owned Luka Doncic the other night. So now, is that to say that these guys aren't, that Luka and Giannis, and especially Luka, isn't the best prospect, one of the best prospects that we've ever seen, if not LeBron James be the best? So it's like 1 and 2. Yeah, he obviously is, and he has ridiculous potential at only 20 years old. This guy can do all of these things. And actually, I will push back on the Russell Westbrook, because Russell Westbrook, he had, when he was averaging a triple-double, his foot was directly on it was through the gas pedal. Like he was touching the road, all right? He was exerting so much energy. Luka does it so naturally. He's just like, pass, walk over here, pass, set a pick. It's all methodical for him, and he's averaging almost a triple-double. Ridiculous. We can move on, though, if you guys are ready, unless you guys want to push back on that.
Yo, how the hell do I type on the phone? How does this fucking work? How do I type in the chat? Jay loves a left swing. I'm a right swing. Bobby wishes he had this flow.
Oh my God.
Next question.
All right, next question. BKB. Let's go with your question, buddy.
Which one?
I know he had so many. Let's okay. Who's better right now, the Clippers or the Lakers, Jake?
Right now, the Lakers, but I do think the Clippers, who are really hiding their depth and kind of resting guys, might take the 1 seed eventually. Which doesn't matter, because I think 1 and 2 are both in the Staples Center, and I'd love to see a conference finals in the Staples Center, all 7 games. But I think that the Clippers will take over eventually, because they haven't had Paul George and Kawhi together very long, and they're only a couple games back. So I think they'll get the 1 seed eventually. But right now, the Lakers are a better team.
Paul George looks good on limited minutes. Like, damn good.
Oh my gosh.
I
That you can play his full defensive repertoire, gamble, and also get help side blocks. It's ridiculous.
And that's another thing. Like, you got 2 guys like that. You got Kawhi and Paul. It's ridiculous.
And people don't know that the depth. Tell me, Lou Williams is your third scorer on a team, and that's just scary.
Oh God, especially in the clutch. Who are you gonna guard first? You're gonna guard Kawhi, Paul George, or Lou Williams? They're disgusting in the clutch. Robbie J, your Lakers,
Sorry, Robbie,
or the Clippers?
J Love, would you slap one of these guys?
You guys are laughing.
David.
You see, Dave.
We would play that for you guys. We'll probably get copyright.
Fly to Colorado.
Oh yeah,
we're handing out some bathrooms, kid.
I can't do that with David Johnson, because that I had to cut him in all my fantasy leagues.
I know. So the question is, my Lakers or the Clippers?
Yes, sir.
Is this more obvious?
I'm gonna make this take nice.
Can this be any more?
Nice and quick for y'all. What the hell do banners have to say?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Say.
Yeah.
And that's all I gotta say. The banners say it all. The Clippers ain't shit. Won't be shit. Ain't shit. You know what? The Clippers are like these 2 goddamn haircuts.
I am totally buying a Bible from Ty. I don't care what you guys say.
Hey, you know what? I'm coming to my houses, and I'm not even letting the option happen. You guys are taking it, putting it down your throat.
As long as it comes with a piece of Rumboyz merch.
Give a Bible out with each T-shirt.
No, I don't sell Bibles. I sell hair pieces, Bobby. I got you lined up for one.
Ooh.
Go to the next person.
All right, Bobby. Who would you rather be right now, a Clippers fan or a Lakers fan?
I'm going to take the Clippers.
Y'all knew that he was gonna say the Clippers. He has nothing to say nice about my Lakers.
That's a good point.
Oh yeah, fuck LA.
Fuck Boston.
We'll see you January 20th,
Why-
you bitches.
Why the
Wait,
if they were in a 7-game series though, why the Clippers? So like you're not liking it, or how do you feel about like the AD matchup? AD can pretty much post up anybody. Who's going to guard him? Montrezl Harrell, Kawhi.
They would have to double. They wouldn't have a choice.
And then you have
LeBron's
LeBron and
open?
Danny
What the
Green.
fuck?
Yeah.
But I think the Clippers are faster. I think the Clippers are faster than LA.
They got
And I
more.
think that would play into it. But outside of that, I don't know. I don't know if I trust LA in the playoffs to have the stamina to do it. Between,
You think LeBron will kind of burn his engine out?
I
halfway?
do. I
Okay.
do. If they don't manage him right, I think LeBron's not going to make it through and have enough energy to get through to the finals.
The coward's making me laugh in the chat.
And let's see. So let's. What about I don't know. I think the Clippers bench at times can be. I don't know how much I trust the Laker bench, rather than the Clippers.
There you go. That
Right,
was
you are just finding any fucking excuse to be a hater. All right, I'm not gonna let you.
The Lakers bench is awful.
Okay, listen.
Yeah,
Let me say
Let
my-
Robbie be happy with one of his
All right.
teams, okay?
JD asked
All right,
me the
guys.
question.
Robbie be
All
happy.
right, let's get Ty's taken
I'm
here.
happy with 3 of my teams.
Who?
Would I rather be a Lakers or a Clippers fan? A Clippers fan. Robbie's a Lakers fan. Clippers fan. That's my only reason. I'm done.
Glad we had to hear
a joke.
that.
Honestly, I'm going with the bench thing. I trust the bench and Beverly and them more than the Lakers.
Yeah,
Straight up.
dude. The Lakers have a pretty good starting 5, and they have no bench.
So
None.
for you guys, the
Your
question
bench has
is
been
Lou
good, Phil.
Williams or Alex Caruso. That's the question for you.
Wait, who?
Oh, you've been doing memes, huh, JD? You've been looking at memes, huh?
No, I said the real question for you guys is: would you rather have Lou Williams or Alex Caruso? But yeah, he's right. He's a meme.
Lou Will.
Are we
Lou-
battling hairlines or are we battling on the court play? 'Cause I'm taking Lou Williams both times.
I'll take Isaac Bonga. I'll take Isaac Bonga.
I'm taking Patrick Mahomes, former college roommate.
What did you say, Jordan Love?
I said I'll take Isaac Bonga.
Oh my God, no one gives a fuck about Bonga.
Damn.
You're just salty because you got traded off your team.
Hey, Paisano, how you doing?
Okay. I'm going with the Clippers. I even said it going into the season. I don't like the Lakers bench, even though they've been playing decent.
I don't like your haircut, but I deal with it.
Hey, I don't like the fact that you're a Redskins fan and your team sucks, but I still deal with it.
Oh,
There's that.
DJ
Tommy's
Love.
got gray hair. Tommy's got
Oh,
gray
but,
hair.
But a
But
legit point to make, though. I agree with Jay Love here. LeBron might wear out. We should think of the fact that Kawhi has had issues with his calf for a long time, especially in the playoffs. That's one thing we should look into.
didn't he
But I
have
think-
a knee thing last year too?
I'm more
Yeah.
worried
You
about
always have a
Same leg. His right leg still messed up.
Kawhi.
Go ahead, Jordan.
You always have anything.
I'm rocking with the Clippers. I think they have better depth. I think they have a better overall team. I think that if the Lakers sustain an injury, which will happen, it always happens, at some point, the Lakers will get screwed. And I'm just waiting for the Lakers to go through that LeBron drought. That always seems to happen. And then this discussion just ends.
It was just last year that he came to the team with me like, always happens. Like, come on, man. Y'all are all just trying to find ways to be haters. And for you, I'm picking Caruso, Patty Mahomes' former team, college roommate. Let's go.
Is it really? Is he
Yeah.
really? Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
They
he
were
was-
roommates.
Man,
hilarious.
screw the Lakers.
Screw the Celtics. What up, Devo Jr.? What up, Limas?
But
pretty
this-
funny.
Okay,
The
quick question.
Clippers are taking over the
Bro.
Staples Center.
Hey,
Let's
Robbie.
move back to football. You guys interested in that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go back to football.
No,
Let's
let's stay on
finish
the
it.
LA topic. This is hilarious.
Hey, but let's be real. if it is a 7-game series in the Staples Center, it would be awful for the equipment team to have to switch those logos every day
God.
in between those games.
That would be funny as hell, honestly. Wow. Like, would that even help you? Like, oh, they have my lights on. All right, I'm gonna play well tonight. Like,
I mean, they have to do it, right?
like,
They
I
have
don't
to do
buy
it.
a home court advantage, especially in basketball. Like, do you really care like what the lights are and stuff? Anyway, switching to basket or football rather. Let's finish up with that. Everybody, drop your fantasy questions in the comments so these guys can answer them. We have about 20, 30 minutes left in the show. We're gonna do a few more questions, then we'll finish off with fantasy questions.
Wait, I got one really quick that we can discuss that's not football. While they all get their fantasy questions together.
Yeah, do that. Let's do it.
I got a UFC one and I got a boxing one. So actually I have two UFC ones. So we're gonna do pick'ems really quick across some fights. First fight that we're gonna pick in the UFC is going to be Conor McGregor versus Donald Cowboy Cerrone, January 18th. What are we thinking here? And I say we start off with Jake.
Yeah, you know, I love the UFC. Connor's he'll squash this dude. I'm sorry. Dude got knocked out twice in the last 7 months. Was TKO'd by Ferguson, and it's one of those. This is a payday for Cowboy to get him out and be like, here, we got you paid. And this is a chance to make McGregor a contender for Khabib's title or Ferguson, whoever wins that fight, which is a joke because Gaethje deserves the next chance over McGregor. That's all I'm saying. McGregor does not deserve the next chance. It's Gaethje. But this is going to be a setup for Khabib, Conor 2, or Ferguson, McGregor 1. And it's going to be a joke because Gaethje deserves that first shot over McGregor.
I absolutely agree. You kind of took a little bit of what I was going to say. This fight is purely. I want Cerrone to win because I am definitely not a fan of Conor, especially after his recent antics. I want to see Cerrone win, but we all know that Cerrone doesn't. He has a chin, but he's not going to have the chin for this. This is a setup, like you said, for a Khabib McGregor 2, for a Khabib Ferguson. Unfortunately, this is
Khabib is Ferguson though.
You know, yeah, Khabib's February 20th is Khabib Ferguson. The 18th is McGregor. I just think Gaethje has to be in there somewhere. Give him the shot before McGregor. He's been fighting and he's won 3 straight knockouts in the first round against top 5 fighters. And you're going to skip him over McGregor. And
I laid a rather large bet on Ferguson.
Ooh.
I
mean, the odds.
Hey, I'll bet.
Hey, what round? What round?
Huh?
I'll bet you got to grow your hair out longer than J Love and mine if he loses.
Yeah, you got to have a Bieber thing going on.
And not your back. I mean your head.
You have to be able to flip it.
Who are you taking between McGregor and Cerrone, Bobby?
McGregor's going to win this fight. This is a I don't think Cerrone stands too much of a chance. I think McGregor is probably going to either submit him or knock him out in the second.
Yeah.
I feel it. Yeah. Ty?
I mean, let's be honest, man. Jake, Robbie, do you guys really think Cerrone has a chance? Realistically, no.
This is Dana's shot to say, Cerrone, you've lost 3 straight. You're past your prime. You're 36 years old. You're a new dad. Get out of here. We gave you your $2.5 million payday. Just retire. We don't want more brain damage. And McGregor's going to get hyped up.
Because Cerrone, how old is he?
36.
36?
Yeah, see, like that.
He looks like he's 45 when he's 36. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think there's much of a chance there. The real fight is going to be Ferguson and Khabib. That's the real fight.
Yes. What should have happened is McGregor versus Gaethje, and I'm very passionate about that. That's the fight you make. The winner of that fight gets the title fight, but they missed their chance there.
They don't want McGregor not to win.
Yeah, go ahead. Ty Boogie, you go. You're next.
we can't. We're all gonna, of course, agree on some shit, but it's too set up for McGregor not to win. I mean, the whole world is at this point is in his corner. Again, Cerrone, I mean, age is a thing. He has no type of confidence coming, like Jake said, off big losses. I mean, he didn't get knocked out, but I mean, damn, the ref had to stop him before his eye blew out of his freaking socket last time. So I don't know. I mean, this is too set up for Conor not to win it. I mean, yeah, he hasn't been in the ring for a while, but we know the dude's a warrior in there. And
You know,
he ain't
this kind of
stopping
feels like a welcome back fight.
Yeah. Do you think
That's what it feels like to me. A welcome back fight.
I feel like it's also to kind of like, if he wins, it's meant to kind of make everything that he's done out of the ring. Since he's kind of been off, to like kind of be swept underneath the rug.
I mean, now, listen, Conor's gonna win, but do I want to see Conor get his lights choked out? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to make it weird is if you're going to pick a guy to make Conor's past and last 2 years of just trash talking on social media and not actually showing up, except for Khabib, why would you pick a dude that everyone likes like Cerrone? Throw somebody else in there that people want to see actually lose as well. Like, it's not that hard where you can find a guy like lower in the division if you're going to do this to somebody. Throw Pettis in there. I mean, it's not hard to do, but you're going to kill Cerrone, and there's going to be casuals loving McGregor, and it's going to be a joke because they don't know what Cerrone brought to the sport.
I agree. This is a travesty to go down for the fact that it is set up the way that it is. Let's see. Yep, JD, we can go. We can do the last two football questions, and then we get back to. I have two more fighting questions.
Oh yeah, let's get more fighting.
Oh, yeah, JD, how do you feel about the Cerrone McGregor before we go on to the next two?
I mean, I'm not a huge fighting, but I'm not a huge fighting fan, but at the same time, I do like to watch McGregor, and I've heard Cerrone's pretty entertaining. I mean, I'd like to see McGregor win personally, but at the same time, that's just because it is what it is. Like, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna watch, so I'm definitely gonna watch. I just like to see these fights because they're so raw. You know what I mean? You never know where you're gonna get. Like last time, Khabib he choked McGregor, out and stuff like that. Sometimes
that was the greatest thing ever.
So yeah, there's a lot of
McGregor
anything could happen.
Just choked out.
That's the fun thing about these fights. Anything can happen.
So with that fight that we just spoke about, this is a perfect time to kind of segue into the Khabib versus Ferguson fight. Taking place April 18th. What are we thinking here? Ty Boogie, start this one off, bro.
I'm going Khabib, man. I think he's still just held it. I mean, trust me, this is going to be a badass fight. Like, you guys, even if you don't even watch UFC, you need to figure out how the hell to watch this. Go to a bar, just watch Robbie J's reaction, because goddamn, that will be worth all the money in the world. I'm telling you. But honestly, I think Khabib's got it. I mean, we've seen the video of him wrestling bears as a kid. I mean, the dude's swimming up rivers in the middle of Russia and freezing cold waters for training. Like, I think he's gonna keep this thing going. Again, he's coming off of huge fights recently, and there's no reason. Ferguson has some nasty hands, but Khabib is also one of the best wrestlers in the world, and I think he's gonna let that show. And I think it's probably gonna be the difference in it.
Bobby.
Both fighters absolutely throw just sledgehammers for fists. To me, if this is going to come down to who has the better ground game, if it makes it to the ground, or if they just stand up and fight. If they make it to the ground and Ferguson, does his studying, that's where he may be able to take advantage of Khabib is on the ground. But it's this, and this is the Eagles' first real challenge. This is a guy who could actually beat him. Ferguson could actually win, and it's a realistic shot. It's not just like a Vegas shot. No, Ferguson has a realistic shot of winning this fight. This is Khabib's first, I don't want to say legitimate fight, but this guy could actually beat him. So it's definitely going to be an entertaining fight. If I was Habib, I would stay off the mat as much as possible and keep it upright, because I think that's where Ferguson could get him into some trouble, is on the mat. Because both of those guys throw absolute sledgehammers.
Be on the lookout in the community tab. I will let it be known tomorrow evening. I gotta agree with you, Bobby. I like your take. Jake, you have some really good fighting takes. I'm interested in what you got here.
Yeah. So, Ferguson is a national championship wrestler. He's just never wrestled in the UFC. He's never had to. He's always used a takedown defense, quick striking, and his cardio. The issue will be here is Habib likes to take this to the outer thirds of the mat, get you to the fence, throw you to the ground, take you down. Can Habib do that successfully and get around Ferguson's jiu-jitsu on the back? Because Ferguson has submitted 2 guys on the back willing to go there. And I don't think he will. I think Ferguson is a little arrogant with this, where he thinks he can get around the grappling of Habib and the pressure.
Keep it upright,
yes.
right? Keep it upright.
I think Ferguson should keep this upright at all costs and just strike with Habib. Habib is a very powerful striker, not a great striker. But I think Ferguson will get cocky, and he always has. And this might catch him, because I think he'll go to the ground and think he can catch him in a submission attempt and get totally turned and taken down the first round and demoralized. And I think Ferguson will lose by decision, actually. I think Habib will actually go 5 rounds for once.
I am thinking that I agree with the Ferguson loss. And I 100% agree with everything that you said, by the way. Very, very intellectual, good insight there on your take. I think that Ferguson loses 4th round via a submission. The only way that Ferguson stands a chance, to me, is gonna be keeping it standing up, and it's gonna be Ferguson catching him with the vicious right hook. It'll be a right hook that just catches Khabib slipping right on the chin, and that'll be what would it is. That's the only way that Ferguson wins. Other than that, this is Khabib's fight, in my opinion.
And we've seen Habib get caught pretty hard.
Fight.
Poirier caught him 3 straight times, and Habib didn't go down. Habib actually took him down and ended up submitting him.
That's the thing. Second shot, Jake, that second shot that Habib took in that last fight, I thought he was done.
No one stands up to that. No one stands up to that.
After that second shot, I thought he was toast. I was like, this.
Then he took the man down and ended the fight 30 seconds later.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So,
No, I thought after that second shot, it was done. He was done.
Here is my final question. This one, we're heading over to boxing. And then we're going to turn it back over to JD to end us with one more NFL question. And then that wrapped the show.
Good show.
Very, very good show. We fit a lot of content in tonight, a lot of good stuff to chop up. And we ran up the views on Sportscaster really well. Jake, in the world of boxing, it has now been announced that February 22nd, which is right around the corner, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury will be set to fight. What are we thinking with this fight? Last time these two fought, Fury was knocked down twice. This did result in them tying. And Fury did rise up from the ground like the Gypsy King from the dead. What are you thinking, bro?
So I don't know boxing that well. I'm a huge fight fan, but boxing's not been my thing. But I will say that the fact is, it's hard to recover your chin like that after getting hit by Fury directly twice and getting up on the 8 count and maybe a little over the 10 count. I'm not sure how that last one was. So it was close. I do think that if you got caught twice, I think Tyson might get knocked out. It's going to be one of those things where Tyson got caught twice. He might eliminate one, but I don't see him getting up again for one of those shots. It's only been a year, so it's not like his chin totally recovered.
Yeah, the last person he fought in shorts was a bum, basically. Both of them fought bums recently.
And the scar tissue in his eye, is that going to recover in time?
Very good question. It should be. I think it has recovered because he was out at SmackDown recently at a WWE event, and he looked pretty good there.
Yeah, I mean, Yes, I think Wilder will knock him out. I mean, it's one of those things, a late round knockout. But that's just my opinion. I don't know boxing as well, so.
No, hey, damn good take, damn good formulated take, Bobby.
The one thing that, at least from watching Wilder, that I've noticed is he doesn't waste a lot of energy until he needs to. We all saw what he could do. We all saw what he can do with a 3-punch combo and end a fight in 10 seconds.
Yeah, against Ortiz, yeah.
The guy, he does not waste energy when he fights, and he picks spots to he picks his spots where he wants to, turn it on and turn it off, and he waits for that one opening. And when you make that one mistake, that right or left hook comes around, and that's like getting hit with a tree limb. I mean, it's you're done. You make one mistake with Wilder, and he punches hard enough to absolutely destroy you. And the guy, he's slow and methodical with the way he fights, and it's just,
he's one of the best heavyweights since Tyson. I agree.
Yeah, he's not the fastest dude on the planet. He's not.
He's just powerful. He's a bronze.
But he picks the right spots. He waits and waits and waits, and he'll wait till 5 or 6 rounds if he has to. But the guy's he's got the power behind a 3-punch combo to end it in 3 seconds.
Yep.
It's
and
done.
He'll lose 4 rounds in a row and knock you out
and knock you out in the 5th or 6th.
Yeah, he'll knock you out after losing 4 straight rounds. No joke.
That's how the last fight went. Like the guys,
that's why
the most dangerous part with Wilder is all it takes is one mistake. You make one mistake and the fight is over. And he's smart enough. He's a smart enough guy. He knows his way around a ring, and he knows, his mind is one of his best weapons, and he uses it to his advantage. And I have Wilder is one of the best fighters I've ever seen in the last 18 years.
Okay, Ty Boogie.
I'm going Deontay Wilder here. I know, Cat's got 9 lives, but humans only got one. And Tyson Fury, he switched that up, and the dude came back from the dead before. I know all of us saw that, so he can't do that twice. I'm sorry, that's not physically possible. I didn't think it was possible. He was getting up last time. I mean, we've already said this is almost a bigger fight for Deontay. I mean, if you guys remember, even it going to draw, he was nervous almost talking about it, like, oh, I should have won all this, I think this is a big fight for him, and he needs to come out and prove he can actually send Tyson to the ground. And I think he's going to put that extra pack behind his punches and make sure that he stays on the ground for more than 10 seconds this time. So I like Deontay for all the other reasons you guys have said too. I mean, he knows his way around. He knows also, again, if he's losing 3-4 rounds in a row, he knows he's got to put the power behind it, and he is the guy to do that. So
yeah, Deontay knows he cannot win a decision. He has to knock him out. There's no decision to win there. So
and he can do that. He just knows he's got to hit the punch. So, and he can do that.
I'm gonna go completely opposite here, and I'm gonna say that Fury is going to rise up to the occasion. He's not going to knock out Wilder, but he's going to win by decision. I don't think that he gets knocked down again. To what Bobby was saying, Fury is a fast fighter. There's nobody in the heavyweight division that moves as fast as Tyson Fury at that size. So with that being said, I mean, I think that he has the ability to take Wilder to distance, and if he takes Wilder to distance, I think that he can win this fight. He has the IQ to be able to last all 12 rounds due to his boxing IQ. I think that he's going to know not to get knocked down. Last time he fought Wilder, he wasn't in great shape. He's gotten in excellent shape. We saw, especially against Schwartz. I get that Schwartz is a bum once again, but just the way that he moved in that fight was so fluid that if he does that same thing against Wilder, it's going to frustrate Wilder, and it's going to be a long day and a long fight.
Yeah, because Wilder's a slow fighter. Slow. Very slow. He's slow and methodical around a ring. That's how Deontay operates.
Tyson's been playing.
We're
just
way less than too long.
conserving the energy.
But all good takes, gentlemen. Let's get JD and J Love back involved in this. JD, your final football question of the night.
BKB wants to know. We'll start with Jordan Love. BKB wants to know, can the Eagles win the NFC East?
Let me just double check something.
Can the Eagles win the
Yes.
NFC East?
The Eagles, in my opinion, will win out if they can beat the Cowboys.
Robbie,
Face the Cowboys this week.
Robbie, what did I tell you in my take? Like the Cowboys and Eagles game in like week 15 or 16 is going to determine who
16.
wins that division.
That's for the division.
You did.
It always
That's
does.
interesting.
It always does.
And that game is in Philadelphia, and Dallas is faltering right
Listen.
now. Philly might send Dallas out of the playoffs with a win there.
Listen, the Eagles this week play the Dolphins, and they play the Giants, and they play the Redskins. So that's a 3-week cruise. And then they get to prepare for the Cowboys. And oh my God, if that's not the easiest rise to playing your biggest game of the year, I don't know what is.
And it's at the link. It is at home.
Yeah. And then you go off to play the Giants. And then if you go and look at the Cowboys schedule.
I think the Eagles
Go
win the
Bears.
season.
Yeah, the Eagles are going to win that division. There's no way the Cowboys are flying to the link and winning that game. No way.
Okay,
That's
the
so
Cowboys'
funny.
remaining schedule, it goes Bears, Rams, Eagles, and then Redskins. So these next 2 weeks aren't skate bys as they are for the Eagles. This is really concerning, and in all honesty, I've said it before, don't count the Eagles down and out. They have a great quarterback. They have a great team. And they're in me saying this, they're getting healthy in certain positions, but they're also getting hurt more in other positions, like their receiving core so drastically destroyed. But Zach Ertz is starting to come on. So that's a receiver in himself.
He's got a hamstring thing, though. He's not 100%.
Doesn't matter if he's 100%. It's Zach Ertz.
And the Cowboys have a front office thing.
Yes, they
No,
do.
they have
Oh,
a,
yeah.
they have a
That
Jason-
reminds me. The
no,
Cowboys have
they
Jason
have a
Garrett.
Jason Garrett. That's
Yeah,
what they
that's
have.
a-
They
that's a-
have a
that's-
Jason Garrett.
That's
They have
a
everything
handicap
but
in
personnel
itself.
problem. Everything but player problem.
A clapping
So,
problem.
I like it. Okay. So I think it sounds like we're, especially between Bobby and J Love, you guys convinced me that the Eagles will pull it off. Sounds like we're all in accord.
Oh yeah,
I
the
love the Eagles.
Okay.
Also.
Eagles are gonna,
Yeah.
the Eagles.
Yeah.
Sounds
And
like the
there's
Cowboys are-
nothing more than that. That makes me so happy that the Eagles. I can't believe I'm saying this because I fucking can't stand the Eagles too. But they're going to send the Cowboys home out of the playoffs.
That makes me
and
happy.
take their spot.
I hate
Yeah.
the Cowboys.
If the Cowboys don't beat the Bears, who are on a 2-0 winning streak, or the Rams, who desperately need a win, they
The
might not
Rams are
even
done. The Rams are done.
they're not even making to the Eagles.
The Rams,
Yeah.
the only team that has a chance that's in the hunt right now to make a playoff spot is the Eagles. That
Yeah,
is it.
Right. Yeah, that's
That's it.
that's why
Philly
that's
will
a
do
good
it.
question.
Philly will do it.
Philly can pull this off.
yeah.
All right, that's Rumboyz After Dark. Unless you guys have any other quick points to make.
No.
Yes. All right.
I'm good.
But
So-
screw the Eagles
Take
too.
us away, Rodney.
Just because I picked them doesn't mean I
Bro,
like
you
them.
have
let's
the-
no. Let's
you
be
have
honest.
the most hated team, Bobby. Besides the Cowboys, you are the most hated team in football.
Listen.
What are you
This is
talking
true.
about?
Can we just screw the NFC East? Like in general,
Yeah, all them.
all 14.
Yeah, no one deserves a spot. Yeah, let's give it to a third. Let's give it a third wild card and just get rid of that whole division.
I'm with
Jake
that.
is the best take of the night.
I'm kidding, by the way. No, that would never work. The Rams.
I like
It would.
So it did happen once.
I mean, they pretty much only have 3 teams to begin with.
Anyways, it's time to go around the horn here. Let's start off with JD. JD, talk to us. Tell us what you got coming up next. Where the people can find you. All of your information. Yada yada yada. You know what to do.
More of JD rants this week. You're writing some more stuff too. I'm excited for the NFL playoffs. The basketball season is just getting started. I also have NBA 2K, so hit me up on Discord if you want to play that with me on the computer. Anyway, at jtrio92 and at rumboys.com. That's where you got to go.
There we go. Jordan Love, what it do?
Hopefully more articles coming this weekend, next week. Dealing with a lot of school right now, so trying to balance that stuff out. Find me on rumboys.com. Other than that, I'm straight.
Awesome.
Good kid.
Tom.
Good kid, JD. Good kid, JD. Just trying to.
That's my son.
We gotta stop that. Just trying to get settled back in here. Working on getting a laptop computer thing set up here so we can get on this thing a little bit more, hang out with you guys here. Otherwise, you guys know the usual Rumboyz tie, Twitter, everything like that. Keep it rocking. But yeah, trying to get back in the mode, get back on here once we get some kind of computer or laptop so we can get it going again.
Oh yeah, you killed it tonight, bro. I'm happy that you joined us.
Hey, had to do
Bobby,
it.
what's next for you, bro?
We got the Patriots coming up on Sunday, the Sunday night game versus the Texans. That's an 8:20 start, East Coast time. And then we got the December 4th. I'll have the Celtics game. That's versus the Miami Heat. And then you can find me on Twitter at Block Rumboyz for any other fantasy questions or any type of merch, guys. I do have a merch division at rumboyz.com. They have a section for Rumboyz Northeast along with Central and the OG himself up top there.
Oh, yeah. And promo code Central if you're trying to support those two gentlemen's clothing lines. That's
all in capitals, you guys. All in capitals.
Yep, in all caps. Let's keep getting those sales flowing in. Also with Bobby, I want to take the time out to personally shout out Bobby because Bobby is almost at his 1K and almost at all of his watch hours for monetization. So everyone make sure that you guys go to the Rumboyz channel, go to channels and click on his channel. Also click JD's channel, subscribe to both of them. But Bobby, congratulations, man. You're almost there. Keep doing what you got to do. Jake of the Cleveland Show, which I did not know that you had a podcast as well, by the way.
It's not mine, but I kind of BS my way through chat onto it like this one. So, yeah, Moohead Radio. Hey, am I being honest or not? So,
hey, no, we love that. No, what man?
Yeah, Moohead Radio. He has a halftime post game and a Monday and Friday show. We BS around and talk about Cleveland sports and how functional they are occasionally.
You mean dysfunctional?
And that's about it. Yes, yeah. It happens too. It's just a fun little podcast.
Jake, what are the name? What's the podcast name?
Moohead Radio on YouTube.
All right.
Moohead Radio. All right.
An old Jewish dude runs it. Yeah, good guy.
Shoot us links in the Discord, man, and we'll all join up and follow you. Maybe you and I talk about getting you on as Rumboyz Cleveland or something like that.
Maybe.
So other than that, guys, I'm gonna be live tomorrow with the guys from Big Dogs Gotta Eat, BDGE. Nikki Snacks is gonna be on the show with us tomorrow. Big, huge feature, so I'm excited for that. So make sure you guys all pull up and show love for that. You got your Noti bells on.
What time is that, Robbie?
That'll be, I think, 5 my time. That'll be 5 my time. So 7 you guys.
7 my time. Okay, got it.
Yep. We'll have him on the show as long as, of course, he doesn't cancel or anything like that. But yeah, I'll definitely be live with you guys, giving you content after I get off the football field tomorrow because we got to make sure that we lock up that #1 spot on Sportscaster because the last week has been an intense competition. But other than that, make sure you guys support Rumboyz.com. Go sign up for Rumboyz.com. Check out all these fellas' amazing articles, all their video content on Rumboyz.com.
It's free.
Yes, it is free.
We don't charge you anything to sign up, so just go do it.
The only thing that you would pay for, obviously, will be merch. Make sure you guys do check out all these gentlemen's merch. You need some Rumboyz drip underneath your Christmas tree this season. You need a Rumboyz holiday sweater for your Christmas parties this year. Other than that, fellas, y'all ready to do this?
You know how it is.
All righty. Cheers to me.
Cheers to you.
All the Rumboyz, what to do.
Dilly.
Guys.
Yo, later, y'all.
All right.
You nasty motherfucker.
Great outro there.